Well, hello. My name is Viv Clements, and today I'm going to be swatching for you Eternal Green, which is one of our Options collection colours. So Options come in a 4-gram pot, and they are a soak-off product. So you will get beautiful consistency, very creamy. This colour here in particular is like a deep forest green. It is ever so slightly translucent, but does, with 2 coats, does cure to full opacity. It also has a very, very slight shimmer to it. So it's a really beautiful colour. When you first get your pot, you'll get like the aluminium wrapping around it. Once you take the lid off, just make sure that you remove all of that so that over time it doesn't break down and end up in your pot. And you can keep the little white cap if you choose to. Options are a soak-off. They cure for 30 seconds in our LED light. As I said, they're creamy, they're self-leveling, really super easy to apply, as you'll see in the next bit. Okay, so another thing to take note of, when you open your pot, and you'll see it in the video, what I've just done is basically given it a stir. So it is important to give this a stir so that you make sure that all the colour is, consistent all the way through. The other thing is, when you're stirring it, don't stir it vigorously, just kind of fold it like you can see me doing, because that will eliminate bubbles. So by stirring it vigorously, you'll get little air pockets in there, and then they'll kind of pop on the nail and you might get little pockets on your application. So I've already finished one here, a matte one, and I'm just going to show you the application on an actual tip and how much I'm picking up. Now, bearing in mind that the tip is quite long, so if I were to pick up that much, that's well and truly enough. Just take the end off my brush, or into the pot off my brush, and then I'm just going to roll that onto the nail. I'll get in around my cuticle area. Of course, being a tip, it's a little bit different. Now you can see as I'm actually brushing it down the nail, it does go translucent. But you can get a nice solid finish with your second coat. If you are looking for that translucent kind of look as well, more like a glass look, you could actually just apply it super thin. Okay, I'm capping my free edge, but you can see here that it's still got good coverage. So if you leave it a couple of seconds, it will settle. As I explained in the video as well, it doesn't self-level as quickly as, say, Luxio does, but it does self-level. So we've got a nice even coat over that tip. So I'll pop that in and cure that for 30 seconds in our hybrid LED lamp. So we've popped that in the lamp and to cure for 30 seconds, and we're going to finish this one with Shine On. So you can see the difference between the Ultra Gloss and the Shine On. There's not a great deal of difference. It's very hard to notice a difference. All right, so that's cured. I'm going to load my brush just on one side. And I'm going to use my line of light to make sure that my application is completely smooth. I can see that there's like something tiny just there. So I'll just go back over that. Make sure it's not a little fluff, which I think it was. And now, as you can see, it's nice and smooth. So I'll clean my brush off before I put it back in my pot. All right, and now I'll cure it for 30 seconds in the hybrid. Okay, so here I'm going to apply again, But I'm using a practice finger because I wanted to show you how you can get in that little bit closer to the cuticle area, but also the correct preparation when you're actually applying to a natural nail. So here I'm using the spongy file, which is just a buffer, and it's a 120-180 file. So it's actually quite soft on the nail, and you do not need anything more coarse. All we want to do is remove the surface shine. You do not need to etch the nail for gel products. So I'm also using now a soft bristle brush, so that, and it's a plastic brush, so that I can sanitize it. Once I've removed all the dust and debris from the nail surface, I'll use a lint-free pad and some prep and wipe, and I just remove any other oil residual or dust residual, anything else that could potentially still be on the nail plate, so that when it comes time to paint, I've got a beautiful surface to work with. So the next thing I'm going to do, once I've prepped the nail, is apply a coat of X-Bond. So X-Bond is our universal bonding agent. It works under color, it works under core product, it's a superior bonding agent. So I use this under options, under Luxio, under performance, under gel plate. So here I'm applying a little bit back from the cuticle, and I'm going to work my way down the nail, because what I want to do is make sure that I don't run it into the cuticle or the sidewalls. As you would be aware, gel is attracted to gel. So if it does run into the cuticle with your base coat being X-Bond, then your color is going to follow straight in there. So, and that makes it really hard to try and, keep a nice clean finish around the cuticle and the sidewalls. So your application of your X-Bond or your base is super important. Cure that for 30 seconds, and then we're going to go straight into the product application. Now take note of the amount of color that I'm picking up on my brush. I'm only loading it on one side, and then I apply it again a little bit back from the cuticle, and I'm using the tip of my brush just to get in there as close as I can, and try and get a nice even application around the cuticle and the sidewalls. When I'm brushing it down the nail, I'm not applying a lot of pressure. I'm not floating it, I am brushing, but it's a really light brushing motion. You do not need to apply pressure, and you can apply this relatively thin. So I am just picking up a tiny bit more because I'm working on a tip. So it will be generally longer than a natural nail if you're working on a natural nail. Obviously, if you're working on an enhancement or an extension, then you may need that extra little bit of product. But it's always better to add rather than, try and take it away if you add too much at the start. Make sure that you cap your free edge. Now, you will find that options will self-level, but it does take a little bit longer than Luxio. So if you give it a few seconds before you put it in, you'll see that it will start to smooth out a little bit, but it won't work as fast as Luxio does, for example. Now here's just a little trick. You can use a number 2 outliner brush and dip it in your pot, and then get in even closer around the cuticle and the sidewalls if you want to get that perfect finish. You can do this either before you apply the first coat, or you can do it at this point now. So I've already cured it for a little bit, and then I'm going to come back and just touch up my cuticle area and sidewalls. I also make sure that I smooth out any product that I'm adding in onto the nail, because I don't want to leave a lip or any residue of excess product around the cuticle and the sidewalls, so that by the time I go to do my second coat, it's nice and smooth. So a little bit harder to see on a practice finger, but you'll get the gist of it. So now that has been cured for the full 30 seconds, and I'm coming in to apply my second coat. So again, I just pick my product up on one side of the brush. That way I've got more control and I know exactly how much product I'm applying. And this time I can sort of come in a little bit closer to the cuticle. as I said, gel's attracted to gel. So it'll go up to that point where I've applied either the X Bond or the first coat of polish, which should be the same. So again, just smooth it down the nail. Don't forget to cap your free edge. You can see that you're getting full opacity, and the consistency is just beautiful. Really super easy to work with. And it doesn't run, so you don't have to worry about chasing it anywhere. You've got more working time with it. It's a really lovely product to work with. If you haven't tried options, I suggest you give it a try. So I'm just making sure that in the line of light that I've got a beautiful even coverage over the entire nail. And if I need to, I'll just come back and touch it up. But you can see me rotating the nail just to check in my line of light. So I've cured that for 30 seconds. And now I'm going to finish with gloss. Now gloss is used for our natural nail. It is a soak-off top coat. It is one of our shiniest top coats. So you do get a beautiful high shine finish with gloss. So that's completed. It's been cured. And now I'm going to use my lint-free wipe with some Prep and Wipe on there and just remove the tacky layer. I make sure I remove all of that, and then you end up with a beautiful high shine finish. So this is Eternal Green. I hope you enjoyed this. I've got a few images to show you where I've had a little bit of a play with some nail art, and also the finished matte and high shine, so matte on and shine on finish. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this swatch. I look forward to bringing you the next one. Take care. Bye for now.